We want to start. Where you want to start, man? Let's start with Jason Whitlock.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
get that
yeah.
out the
Let's
way.
do it. So Jason Whitlock, he's been in sports. He's been a sports columnist since we've been alive, bro. I remember this dude back on the Sports Reporters early Sunday morning before we watched football, and there was so many options to watch on TV.
Right.
And ESPN was the only thing you had before football. You used to watch him on the Sports Reporters, right? And amongst his peers now, he is absolutely hated. I haven't seen anybody saying a nice thing about this man in years. They hate him
Right.
amongst his peers, right? But he said something that was interesting. And I know he was trying to get a rise, but I want to get out of who he's saying it about and get to the context of what he's saying. He said this whole industry is rigged towards promoting black men who are willing to go on TV, put a do-rag on, pull out a blunt, pour some Hennessy, and act like a ghetto buffoon. That's how you rise up in this industry. Now, clearly he was talking about taking a jab at Shannon Sharp, throwing the do-rag on. He did it a lot on the Undisputed. He had the Henny, he had the Black and Mild. He would do his thing, right? But then when you look at it deeper, and I think him and Shannon Sharp absolutely hate each other, right? So there was an ulterior motive when he said that. But when you look at the context of what he said, and you look at what's dominating the culture when it comes to media now, just give me real quick, right, off the cuff.
Yeah.
4 of the top hip hop podcasts right now. Just throw them out, top of your head.
You have to go Drink Champs, $1,000,000 worth of game, Breakfast Club. You can throw in there, and shit. Who else? Who else is out
Put
there?
Button in there.
Oh yeah, Button. I gotta forget Button.
Rapper, 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 rapper.
Damn. Ooh.
When you look at what's dominating now, you've seen Cam and Mace, the sports one.
Yeah.
Rapper. When you look at
Damn.
Matt Hoffa, my expert opinion.
Rapper.
When you look at Club Shay Shay, Hall of Fame athlete. Right? So it's either athletes, rappers, or comedians that they say came from the bottom and rose from this and did all of this to come out and give this real information when they've been ingrained in this industry the entire time. And that's no fault to them.
Right. Yeah.
Right? No fault to them. I'm not blaming them for that.
Right.
But it's just kind of a little bit of an imbalance, and it definitely raises the question, is he right? Is all they want to promote on mainstream media the buffoonery, or you got to be an athlete or a rapper or this or that to give some type of opinion? Do they refuse intellectual conversation from strong black men in particular, or do they lean towards, in your opinion, that type of content? And is it wrong or right in your opinion?
Well, I think there's a lack of shows that are like grown man and woman shows. A lot of the podcasts, and no disrespect, to any of them, you have some that are centered around comedy, some that are centered, more so, around, loud mouth, drinking, smoking, that whole aspect. Rarely do you see us in the light of someone like a Barbara Walters. Like, who's the equivalent of a Barbara Walters in the hip hop genre? You don't really have none. Anything close to that might be like a Sway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's it. Everybody else is like, you got to be entertaining. Like, they say something, we born. Are you born? If we're not up here smoking, drinking, jumping around, smacking each other.
Eyes popping out of our fucking head.
Right, and stuff like that, then you're born, you're corny. And I get the theatrical aspect. People want to see that, but I hate to keep comparing us to other things, but let's just look at other people. They have other shows that are, even like, let's say a Joe Rogan or something like that.
Right.
They just sit there and they talk intellectual. Now, shit happens on the show, I'm sure. I don't watch it much, but he's put on this pedestal for how intellectual he is. There's nothing to take away from like a Nor or none of these people. People, a lot of times people say Nori cuts people off and, things like that. But I just feel like there's certain stereotypical images that are pushed, not all, like you said, the loudmouth, the athlete, the comedian, the coon, the buffoon. This is pushed forward in front. And what makes it sad is you got a lot of other great ones out there that don't get the recognition like that. They sit down, they do their thing. It's great interviews, it's great questions, it's great content. They don't really get pushed. When I mean pushed, I mean like all your outlets, your TMZs, your shade rooms, these different hip hop DXs, hot new hip hop. They don't promote those platforms. They promote the athletes, the coons, the buffoons, the clowns more so. And how much would that help people if every time you did an interview, they're covering it. It helps a lot because it puts you on the main, and it pretty much it's like somebody that equivalent to sharing your information. Okay, they write an article, so and so hip hop Uncensored podcast. They write an article, man, that's worth a game. If you keep getting that push all in all, you're gonna get pushed to the top. So that's how I kind of see it, man. I can go on and on, but I'll let you go ahead.
It's hip hop media in particular has been extremely watered down. I'd say the last year or two, and when I look at certain podcasts, like all right, for example, the Pivot podcast, right, with Ryan Clark, Fred Taylor, and my other man's not registering right now. And I do
Right.
apologize. Channing Crowder, right?
Okay.
Channing Crowder, and they get athletes on. Like I was watching the clip with them talk to Raheem Morris, bro. That's must see TV. So
Right.
interesting,
Right.
so insightful.
No doubt.
And you want to know why? Because those were athletes in the trenches doing exactly what he does. There's a relatable type of a relationship they can have, and they deliver great content.
Right.
But when I see a rapper talking to an athlete or trying to be an athlete, or an athlete trying to be a rapper, or kind of ingrained and start mixing, and not that you can't because it's all involved with the culture, but there's a level of knowledge and information that could be shared that's different than if
Word.
you or I would have do it or anything like that. Like us talking to a Raheem Morris about what's going on in the NFL would be a good interview, but it would hit different than a Ryan Clark and a Channing Crowder and Fred Taylor because they experienced it. The content will be different to divulge. So it's so weird that we have so many people diving into different things and kind of watering down the content because they see something popular, they see a wave, they see something that they can slide into to where they maybe think it's easy, or I got a couple dollars, let me go ahead and invest it in. Put it into something that looks popular out here, and it's very, very weird. And what bothers me about it the most is, and I don't want to come off as a hater because I know some people, they're gonna just call us haters regardless. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? But where were the content creators that came from the real mud? Not that was a former athlete or a former rapper that sold 100,000
Yeah.
on stage or performed in a Super Bowl that had a name.
Right.
There were content creators and people that came from the mud. And I'm not just talking about us. There were ones that came before us. There were ones that are great that came after us. And it doesn't seem like any type of intellectual conversation, any conversation that challenges the status quo of what's going on, or that could see a Cat Williams interview and applaud it for what it did, but at the same time break it down layer by layer and go, okay, maybe this is this, maybe this is that, without being a hater, or break a different conversations down, like a Diddy situation where everybody's throwing the pitchforks at him, or a Michael Jackson situation, or R. Kelly situation, or any type of situation that you have the mainstream going all the way one way. You got that platform that kind of takes it to the other side.
You don't have
gives
much
that
out there that do
different
that.
perspective. You don't. And the ones that do,
Right.
unfortunately, they get cherry picked on because they'll be ignored by the mainstream out in front, but in the background, you got somebody working, fishing, taking different interviews, taking different styles of interviews, taking different titles, taking different thumbnails, not giving them any credit, but going ahead and making themselves famous
Yeah.
off of the ones they cherry picked from doing the real work at the bottom, which is just, I don't know if it'll ever change.
Yeah.
But I do see it. And
Nah,
it's
it's
whack.
that you put that perfectly, man. So you understand that once you create something that other people, are going to take it. But all you kind of want is credit. But you know you're not going to get credit. You know you're not going to get it or whatever. But it makes you feel some type of way though. Like I don't care what people say. You know what I mean? When McDonald's was made and Burger King come out, they probably feel some type of way.
Hell
They had to
yeah.
step their game up. But like, damn, you copy my whole shit.
Yep.
And it's like, we see that, and we see people who took the same interviews we took, asked some of the same questions, and at the end of the day, you just charge it to the game, right? Because again, we're not trying to come off like we're haters. We understand that we see it, and we understand our influence on this game. And a lot of people don't want to bring us up. They don't want to mention us and others, because I want to just make like it's just us.
Right,
There's
right.
a lot of other people too
Yeah.
who do a lot of great stuff out there. But like you said, they going against the status quo. I count. It's probably a handful of people. I can't know anybody else besides us that I know of. Maybe they're out there that break it down and go against, and give people a different perspective like we do. Because you go online, like the main platforms that we named earlier, they would never do that. They would never go against the status quo. They just going to talk about it, and that's that. So that's why, it's always, as much as it's great to get those big contracts, there's a censorship that comes with that. There's a little bit of freedom of being independent and being able to really express, your feelings. And we need those type of platforms out there. That's why it's important for the people to always support those type of platforms, because there may be times where the mainstream won't cover it, and people, you will get censored in a way. But if the people rock with you, they can never censor you. Look at Cat. People want to talk about Cat Williams. It was a time where everybody hated Cat.
Talk about that, bro.
They hated him. He was a drug addict. He was getting beat up. He was this. He was that. Now they love him because the people rock with him. So that's just one example, man.
And real quick before we get out of this conversation, I want to talk about that real quick because the level of hypocrisy is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I'll base it toward what we've dealt with directly, right? First off, you look at our track record, we got nothing but love for Cat Williams. As a comedian, as a person, somebody out here speaking how he feels, that has never wavered, never changed. Now, we've had people on this platform throughout the years, and not just recently, do your research, that have came on and been against Cat Williams, and we allowed them to express their opinion. That ain't them hating, that's their experience with Cat, and that's how they feel.
We also had people else for him,
and also had people that rolled with that motherfucker to the death.
Yep.
And we put that up too, and listen to him and let it ride, right? When you look at this situation, Faison Love, right, somebody we've had on the show a lot, a friend of the show, known as throughout the industry as an absolute hater. A hater. He's a hater. He's a hater. We did the interview with him recently. Oh, they couldn't stand it. They were haters, haters, haters. When you look at the origin of why he was called a hater because he went on Breakfast Club and said that Dave Chappelle wasn't funny. People could not stand it.
Wow, yeah.
People hated it.
Yeah.
They rolled with Dave. We rolled with Dave. We thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
Daddy said it. We talked about it. And them two were cool. He said what he said, right? Then you look at it years later. Now Dave Chappelle is being looked at as a hater for Cat Williams because he went on his comedy stage and had some things to say about what Cat Williams said. Now Dave Chappelle's a sellout. When years ago we put this motherfucker on the top of Mount Rushmore when it came to black content creators because he turned down $100 million deal and moved to Africa.
Right.
No disrespect to Cat Williams, but I've never seen him turn down $100 million as shit.
Right.
And he also is in the same industry as Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, and everybody else. He's not running around in a different industry as they are. He's not doing different movies or got $100 million taken from him, but it's the popularity at the time that we get so blinded
That's
by
what it is, yeah.
that we can't get away from the truth. Because like you alluded to, 7 years ago, when he was losing MMA fights on the soccer field to 15-year-old kids, everybody was clowning him.
Yep.
He was the butt of everybody's joke. When he was in Arizona going at Mexicans and they was about to roll him out, everybody clowned him.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden he's marked as this hero, and everybody that says anything about him or farts in a different direction, they're a hater. Now they're sellouts. Hey, I even heard that we get money from the powers that be because we had some little things to say about Cat.
Oh, wow.
Hilarious. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I blame some of y'all. I got love for y'all. I appreciate everything y'all do, whether y'all say anything good or bad. Y'all watch, y'all support, and I appreciate it. But y'all got to really get out of this popularity. It's sheep behavior. It's sheep behavior. Y'all think that it's not sheep behavior, but it really is because you're not breaking it down for what it really is. That interview deserved to get everything it got. Nobody's hating on that. But let's put shit in proper context. Now people that say certain things are haters, there's fucking clips going around of Dave Chappelle clowning Cat Williams 5 years ago. That's what they do.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's for the moment. And with this industry, man, and like you said, it's sheep behavior. It's monkey see, monkey do. I got people that never even talked about Cat Williams ever. Now they want to watch the interview all of a sudden. It's like because everybody's talking about it. I went to the barbershop. Never had a Cat Williams anything on, a couple weeks ago when an interview was popping. It's on in the barbershop. So everybody is enamored by this interview. And it gets no hate about it, but it's just like, it's for the moment. It's for now. It was a time where there was other people, they was going against certain people, and they was the hottest thing.
Yep.
It was time where other people was the hottest thing. And we know because, look, we've been doing this for 7 years, going on 7 years. So we seen the trends.
Yep.
We seen the fads. We seen stuff, people come in and out. So we know what this is. I'm not going to say that they're going to hate Cat, but it won't be as hot. He won't have that much support, or he doesn't have that much support as he think he has. People are just happy, in my opinion, because they got to see, a different side of him. And he went at, from the version that I saw, which was right on YouTube on the TV, within 5 minutes he started going at.
They love it.
Yeah, and that's what they love.
It's unfortunate. And when he wasn't popular, and we had on people like Lunel and Red Grant and Melanie Camacho, people that
Bigging him
toured
up.
with this man.
Bigging him up.
Bigging him up when it wasn't popular
Yep.
to big him
That
up.
was us.
So no hate, absolutely not, but just look at the context properly.
Yeah, definitely, man. So definitely great conversation.